This is your moment, your time to shine, your comeback. You're ready for the next step in your career, and you want an education employers respect. So you're not just going back to school, you're coming back with Purdue Global. Backed by Purdue University, one of the nation's most respected public universities, Purdue Global is built for people who bring their life experience into the online classroom. Purdue Global, Purdue's online university for working adults. Start your comeback today at purdueglobal.edu.
She's seen Encanto more times than she can count. And she can count to 10. She mentioned Mirabel in every conversation. But the moment she actually met Mirabel, she was speechless. That's pura magia. Find yours at Walt Disney World Resort.
5 years, 10 months, and 2 days. That's how long it took to grow the 38 inches to ride on Cali River Rapids. But the moment the wait finally ended, that was pura magia. Discover it at Walt Disney World Resort.
Hello, I'm Taylor Williamson, a senior producer at Wonder Media Network, and I'm so excited to be guest hosting this week's episodes of Womanica. This Black History Month, we're talking about Renaissance women. As part of the famed cultural and artistic Harlem Renaissance movement, these women found beauty in an often ugly world. From performing for pennies on Chicago street corners to dancing across stages worldwide, this woman made a name for herself in vaudeville shows as one of the era's cakewalk queens. Let's meet Ida Forsyne. Ida was born in 1883. She was raised by her mother in Chicago as her father left the family when Ida was 2 years old. In her own words, she was born to be in show business. Across from her childhood home stood the charming Alhambra Theater, which hosted operas and minstrel shows. Ida would scale the theater's fire escape to get a glimpse of the grand traveling shows passing through. She was a regular at the theater doors, always asking for a job, which she was always refused. Ida yearned to be on the stage, but she was a self-taught dancer and money at home was scarce. Luckily, she was also a self-described born hustler. By the age of 10, she practically had a residency on the street in front of her local candy store where she'd dance for money. When anybody asked her to dance, she'd reply with, "How much you gonna give me?" Eventually, Ida's hustling paid off and led to her first real performance at the 1893 Chicago World's Fair. There, she danced the cakewalk on the fair's midway plaisance. The cakewalk was one of many popular vernacular dances in African American culture at the time, like the Lindy Hop, Charleston, and Chicago Step-In. They were vernacular because they developed organically within the community's everyday culture. They're social dances learned without formal instruction and defined through individuality. The cakewalk, which Ida first became known for, developed from pre-Civil War tradition. Enslaved people would couple up and perform the dance both in contest and mockery of white men's hoity-toity mannerisms. Though, the slave owners missed that last part. The best dancers would delight in a deliciously baked prize, literally, take the cake. By 1897, Ida was 14 years old, and her career as a traveling performer was in full swing. She'd spend the next few years on tours across North America like the Black Bostonians and Black Patty's Troubadours. The payout, sometimes $15 a week, wasn't much, but it was enough to be able to help her mother out financially, and Ida could proudly say that she earned it all on her own. But it was across the pond in Europe where she'd truly have her big break. In 1905, Ida joined a traveling vaudeville troupe called the Tennessee Students. In most of the shows, Ida performed as a Black caricature. Her numbers contained tropes and language that are wildly offensive today and were usually performed for white people's amusement. In Ida's words, anytime a white person wanted to get rich, he'd put on a colored show. In Ida's eyes, this was simply her career, and European audiences loved her. One of her most popular characters, Topsy, was a central figure in many stage adaptations of Uncle Tom's Cabin. Ida appeared in a bandana and a gingham dress, jumping about with exceptional energy and lightning-fast footwork. Reviews called her quaint and clever and praised her dancing as some of the best ever seen in the country. Her picture was plastered across buses and magazines throughout London. With newfound notoriety, Ida earned herself a solo act. She began touring throughout Russia and Austria in 1907 and found community among other Black performers. She also started to embrace the cultures of the places she performed. Ida infused her cakewalk with elements of the Russian and Ukrainian Cossack dance, which features a speedy combination of squats, jumps, and kicks. Ida spent the next 9 years in Europe touring. Of those years, Ida recalled, quote, "Everywhere I went, I was lauded. I was paid good money and I had a ball. Everything I ever wanted, I've had it." What was a major success in Europe didn't seem to land with American audiences. When she returned to the U.S. in 1914, now 31 years old, Ida found major changes in the performance industry. Black producers were on the rise, but only wanted to cast light-skinned women in their shows, which Ida was not. On stage, the cakewalk was out, sex was in, and more promiscuous dances like the shimmy reigned supreme. Ida was a stickler for her craft. She refused to sexualize her style or abandon her technique. But her decision cost her. By the early 1920s, Ida's career had stalled. She toured with singer Sophie Tucker as her personal maid, appearing at the very end of Sophie's show to dance and rouse applause. She later took up occasional ensemble gigs and minor film roles, but mainly relied on domestic labor to fund her life. The industry that once embraced Ida in her youth cast her aside as she got older. But this didn't dash her confidence. In a 1951 article from The New Yorker, 68-year-old Ida remarked that she was sharp and as limber as she was when she first started dancing way back when. She emphasized that she could still step around and proved it, stopping mid-interview to do both a cartwheel and a backflip. Little is known about Ida's life after her theatrical career. She spent the final years of her life in a nursing home in Brooklyn, New York. She died on August 19, 1983, at the age of 100. All month, we're talking about Renaissance women. For more information, find us on Facebook and Instagram at Womanica Podcast. Special thanks to Jenny and Liz Kaplan for having me as a guest host. Talk to you tomorrow.
Welcome to a day in the life of an Amex Gold Card member. 7 a.m., iced coffee with up to $84 back annually at Dunkin' locations. 12 o'clock, pesto zoodles with 4 times membership rewards points on purchases at U.S. restaurants up to $50,000. This is so good. And to finish strong, the freshest sushi spot with up to $100 back annually on eligible purchases at U.S. Resi restaurants. What a day. That's the powerful backing of American Express. Terms apply, cap applies. Learn more at americanexpress.com/withAmex.
Residents at Brightview Senior Living Communities enjoy enhanced possibilities, independence, and choice. Brightview Dulles Corner in Herndon and Brightview, Great Falls, offer vibrant senior independent living, assisted living, and memory care services through various daily programs and cultural events. Chef-prepared meals, safety and security, transportation, resort-style amenities, and high-quality care. Everything you need is here. Discover more at brightviewseniorliving.com. Equal housing opportunity.